It's a nice day for a white wedding. It's a nice day to start again. Ow.
We wanted to dream, wanted to have fun, wanted something more glamorous than my dad's power tool business that he wanted me to join him in. He was a great salesman, fantastic actually, but I always thought to myself, the only weakness he's got is he's selling a product that's not himself. I'm still a bit of the salesman he is, really.
Got no human grace. Your eyes without a face.
I bought Beatles records when I was six and a half. I bought She Loves You. I loved the Beatles, so I loved what rock and roll meant. We loved rock and roll, really, and punk rock was now a new version of it. The Beatles, when they started out, were great. I mean, they were a great band, and so were the Stones, and it wasn't what they turned into or anything. We loved what they started out like, what they cared, and you know, the reason we cared was partly because they cared. I think it was important that we did say, there's time for a change. It's time to reboot the system. It's time to kick it up the arse, and that was super important. And I think the No Elvis, Beatles and Rolling Stones was a massive statement the Clash made to kind of distance ourselves, and we did too. Generation X, we did Your Generation, kind of saying. But you know, when me and Tony James really thought about it, we had to say, you know, but we grew up with those groups. And when they started, like Elvis, when he began, was incredible. And his Sun sides still stand up today. In 1977, it was so important to say we need year one again. You know, we need to clear the slate. We need back to year one. We have to reboot the system.
Another drink, cause it'll give me time to think. If I had the chance, I'd ask a woman to dance, and I'll be dancing with myself. Dancing with myself.
So I could have stayed in England, but it seemed a lot more exciting to go somewhere fresh, somewhere that I got a lot of inspiration from, somewhere the scene had come from, New York. And it seemed like a sort of a mirror kind of place where there'd be just a kind of energy that you're looking for. And also where they were versed in punk rock, but it hadn't gone mega there like it had in England. It was a dangerous time, it was a scary time for me to make that move. The first few months I was in New York in 1980, 81 or whatever it was, I was really trying to work out, you know, what I should be doing. You know, we'd done Dancing with Myself in England, and we'd done the Gen X album in England. I sort of didn't completely 100% know what music I was going to do. What's Billy Idol going to be about? You know, I really loved Dancing with Myself. In America was into REO Speedwagon, and it was all these very high-pitched, it was this very sort of bland rock and roll that was kind of going on in America, so I couldn't see how I would fit into that. Then one night After I was only there a couple of months, I went to this uptown club, Harrah's. It had like a very small dance floor and around the dance floor a load of couches and tables, and then there was a bar. But there's nobody on the dance floor, nobody. I mean, maybe there's one, but there's nobody actually. That's what I remember. Everyone was out around the bar. Everybody's disappeared from around the bar. The whole club was on the dance floor. And I listened to what the DJ was playing and I realized, oh my God, he's playing Dancing with Myself. I don't have to change a thing. I don't have to find anything new. I've already got the thing. These American kids right here dancing in this club, 1981, are telling me you're already doing the right music, man. You know, like, it was a great moment for me. It was such a breakthrough that I went, this is fantastic, because I didn't want to change. I believed in the Dancing with Myself music. I believed in that. I believed in that song. Then the next move I made was, well, how could I follow up? I thought about doing Money Money, because I thought it's such a drum song. The trouble with drugs is that they compromise your life in the end. There's a honeymoon period with drugs that goes on for a while, and that can sort of help to expand your horizons, or help, in my case, maybe help me to concentrate. I'm a little bit ADD, you know. They didn't have that when I was growing up, but I'm sure they would have said, oh, this child has problems focusing. The rock and roll lifestyle and the drugs and everything was just a way to get to the music, really. I had a lot of fun. I would never sort of say I didn't enjoy those days, because I did. I had a great time, but at the same time it just came, I saw a time in my life in the 90s I started to sort of pull back from the edge I was on, because I had children. I was right to pull myself together, because I would have ended up dead, mad, or in prison. I went to one rehab for 5 days and I hated it. AA scared the life out of me, you know, like I had to get control, and my self-control became a big goal, really, for me. Was I wanted to be in control. I wanted to enjoy the rest of my life. I didn't want to be a victim of my own appetites. It's not a regret. I don't regret doing that. It's just I can see the pitfalls of it. I could see a little bit like it probably, in some ways, the drugs would have aided the music at some points, but other times they would have interfered with, and possibly, you know, led to, especially in the 90s a little bit, with a slowing down of making music. We were having a lot of fun making the records, but we really cared. That's why we got into it in the first place. That's what punk rock was really all about. I love the music. I love what we've done. It's really good. It's really good fun, and it stood up. You know, because we cared about it at the beginning. It's lasted.